What I'm going to talk to you about is kind of the benefits of working them on the ground. So one, we can fix a lot of problems on the ground that we can't as safely fix in the saddle. Not everything can be fixed on the ground, but it certainly gives you a lot safer ride when you are trying to fix them. There's lots of things, horses pulling you along, you know, not listening to your rein aids, not being responsive to your leg, rearing up, flying backwards, whatever it is they do, bucking, can all be fixed on the ground. So a lot of the problems can be fixed. For me, I have a different approach to it because I'm not breaking and training horse upon horse upon horse upon horse, fixing a lot of problems all the time. That is not really my job. I am a trainer, but I'm specifically a hunter-jumper trainer, and you know, I take big fancy horses and put them over a fence nice and relaxed. So for me, and I'm mostly teaching students, I have 5 or 6 training horses, and then I have a number of students. So for me, my perspective is, how can I get the horse and the rider to work a little bit better together? You know, if I ask the rider to give that horse a boot because it didn't listen to its leg, and she happens to be unbalanced and not prepared for it, well, I really haven't done any justice. All I've done is I've taught him when I boot him, he bucks a little bit, the rider's going to end up on the ground. What I want to do is instill confidence in both of them, and also teach a rider how a horse communicates, which is not an easy task, by the way, because they think differently than we do and they act differently than we do. And so my take on a lot of this is from a trainer or coach coaching a rider. And also for the welfare of my lesson horses, because I do have a number of them, I like the communication to be clear so that they also feel confident in what they're doing. So that with a new rider, that new rider has the same type of communication as I do. And that they learn from all of that. And every day they come into the ring, no matter whether they're riding with an 8-year-old kid who's never been on a horse, or you know, a 60-year-old lady who's jumping the hunters. They communicate all the same way. So that horse is continually learning and getting better, whether there's one student or the next on it. So this is Honey. She has worked in the pen a couple of times. She's not the most focused or confident pony. She tends to be, I like to call her confused. Contrary to Snowflake, who was just in here, she is 19 years old and she's fairly stuck in her ways. She's a super little pony, but she just thinks she knows everything. And she probably does for her age. So Honey is all about just instilling some confidence, making sure all those aids are correctly, making sure that she can look to me to be her leader. She does have a number of children that ride her, so this will be a continual thing for her. She's just entering the over fences world. She has jumped little tiny crossroads, but that's really about it. But this winter we're going to get her going over fences and clean up her canter a little bit. So I'll start with her off the line. She looks pretty confident right now, which is good, because last time I put her in here, not so much. She was easy to catch. Normally you can't catch her with crap. And so that was excellent too. So I'm just going to give her a second to check it out. She's kind of looking at me, waiting to see what I'm going to do, which is excellent. I mean, some of the stuff I did in the last couple sessions she's remembering. All I'm going to do is ask her to walk on. Remember that my clock means move your feet. And I'm really just going to let her go around the pen a couple times so she can see where her boundaries are, see what else is going on. These are little ponies, they like to escape. Okay, now I'm going to ask her to turn to me. Oh, look, she's way ahead of me. I barely stepped in. Good girl. Good girl. You can see as soon as she turned away, she started chewing. Good step forward. I'm also allowing her some space because my pen isn't super big. One, because I don't want to bring it all out. I'm just going to allow her space. I always want to let her a place to go out, away from. That should be the biggest space. So if I want to cut her off, I'm going to step here. She has to work. But if I wanted to go over there, I got to give her the room to do that. Feel confident in going there. Okay, now I'm going to step in front of her. when we take off the pressure, we've made the correction, we take off the pressure because we got what we wanted, and we emotionally have to let it go. And that's really hard for a lot of riders or a lot of students. They hold on to that, oh, why wasn't that great? Oh, that one wasn't great, I gotta do that again and again and again. It's not about us, it's just about the way we approach it. We make the correction, we leave it alone after we've done it. Okay, so you can see that Hylee is kind of paying attention to me. All I've done is clock, and I'm facing this way, so she's moving away from the pressure. So pressure can be a non-verbal pressure. It doesn't have to necessarily be me actually pulling on the rein or me tapping her with the whip. It can just be the space pressure. Okay, I'm just going to ask her to turn again. Step in front of her. Don't be turning that way. I'm going to wait for her to look at me. You can see she's quite relaxed because she's resting her back leg. Good. I'm going to catch her eye again. I'm going to put a little bit up. Put a little bit of pressure on, and she made a mistake, so now she has to work. And don't do it. So you can see she's just telling me no when I ask her to turn. Put her up, up. Good girl. Keep moving. Good girl. I'll take that. And then I'm going to ignore her. She's turned into me, I'm going to ignore her. I want her to actually come over to me. I also don't want her to teach the turning to come right to me either, because then she'll start running me over. But I'd like her to take one step toward me. If I step over this way, but at least she's not walking over me and she's thinking about what she should do. All I did there is just raise my hand and she moved away from her. Okay, I'm going to make this a little quicker because we've had a couple that weren't so good. Change my whip. Good. Don't do it. I do not want to see your bum. I do not want to see your tail. What I want to see is your face. I'm going to step in front of her, catch her eye. Good girl. Okay, we'll do it again. Okay. Good girl. Okay, one more time. Don't do it. Good girl. Good girl. So she knew that she did what was right there because she turned and walked, right? She didn't turn and trot off. So that was excellent for her. Now we're going to work her a little in the halter. You can see that now that I'm not really paying attention to her, she could care less. But all I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk up to her. Remember, I'm the leader, right? So she's supposed to do what I ask. Your wife walks in. Oh. There you go. Nothing fancy. Not going to stress out. Not going to make it a big deal either. I'm just walking up to her. I'm going to put my lead line over. It's kind of my sign to them that like you were caught. And then I'm going to put the halter back on. So, not only does the horse recognize the pressure and then the retreat. I think some call it the release and retreat technique. But they also recognize the pattern. The pattern is, if I do this, she leaves me alone. If I do that, she makes me work hard. So there's kind of two things in that they're recognizing. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, I am going to walk slow. I'm going to remind them where my personal space is. You can see I don't have a lot of pull on the lead. First I had to trick them. Wettest part of the arena. I'm going to pull her over here. When I pull, I'm going to pull until she moves, and then when she moves, I release. Because I want her behind me. I'm going to stop. I'm going to pull her over here. Good. With my hand up. I'm going to back up. I'm going to step towards it. That's not fast enough. Good. Walk forward. I'm going to stop. Hand up. Not fast enough. So the reason why I haven't tapped this mare on the chest yet is because she's a little bit more reactive. And I know that. I have other ways that I can make her go faster. Not that I wouldn't, just because it's easier to get what I want in my session. Come on. There you go. If I use that a little bit more tentatively. Stop. Back. Good girl. I'm going to ask her to come towards me. I'm going to pull until she comes. There you go. Good. Pull until she comes. When she gets to the pressure, I'll get. Good girl. And there. Now she's just backing away from me because, well, that's what I've asked her in the last few minutes. So she thinks she's doing what she wants. Another thing you can do if you have a type of horse like this horse, who is a little more reactive, is you'll see them throw the rope over. Sometimes you can do this actually with a horse that has a cold back. You want to stand still. The concept is you do it until they stand still. You should do the withers, the bum, and the neck. It'll also kind of tell you where she's a bit reactive. And again, it's about the pattern. If I throw this over top of her, and she does nothing and stands there, she's learned that that's the right response. You can see she's pretty relaxed. She has her leg cocked. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come back. Because I don't want her afraid of me. I just want her to accept some of the things that we're going to do, that I've asked her to do, and that I expect her to do. Okay, so if you do this, just throw the rope at the withers first. There we go. So you can see she's still nice and relaxed. Oh, I'm not doing a very good job of throwing her. Over the bum. Over the bum. And my expectation is that she stands here while I do this. I have no pressure on. I'm just throwing the rope around. I'm not pulling on the line or, you know, hitting. It's not hitting her. It's just being thrown over top of her. When I've done that, she stood still, and she's a good girl. Now, if you had a horse who would start moving, then what you would want to do is you would want to keep doing it until they moved, and then stop doing it when they stood still and relaxed. Okay, so usually what I do is they've either got to be a big sigh, licking lips, relaxing their back leg, or if they stand for about 5 seconds, knowing that they're kind of pretty uncomfortable about it. Alright, Alright, so that'll be it for Honey today. She's getting more and more confident each time I bring her in the pen. And that's what I'm really looking for in a horse, a lesson horse.